Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Road blocked. A major police operation is shutting down part of a busy Goldsboro road as you look at the scene on New Hope Road. What we are learning right now.
And out here on the patio, it is warming up. We're looking at record heat as we get through the remainder of the week. I'll show you how many days in a row we'll see highs in the 90s.
And as temperatures climb, so can your power bill. We'll share easy ways to keep cool and save money during this stretch of record heat.
Plus, magic in Chatham County. A new look at a massive Disney-inspired development turning heads in Chatham County. We'll show you what is planned. Welcome, everyone. Today we could see the first official 90-degree day of the year at RDU. It is about to happen. Good afternoon. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Laura Levine. Thanks for joining us this noon. So meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, she is live outside on the WRAL patio to show us how our heat wave lasts into the weekend. Elizabeth.
So we have this big area of high pressure, and in the position that it's in right now, it's pushing that warmth all up into our area. And you can really feel it. I'll tell you, being in the shade is okay. It doesn't feel exactly like a summertime day in the 90s, because in the summertime it's oppressively hot and or oppressively humid. We don't have that humidity with us today. So people out here enjoying the gardens in the shade in particular, it feels nice. It's 82 degrees right now and the wind is variable at 6 miles per hour. Yesterday we hit 89, but it looks like today we'll likely add that extra degree or two and push it over the edge to 90 degrees. It's 78 in Holly Springs, 81 in Apex, 82 in Morrisville, and 79 degrees in Clayton right now. And we take a look at our high temperature potential this afternoon. 91 in Raleigh, 90 in Roxborough, 89 in Southern Pines, 89 in Clinton, 91 in Fayetteville. Now, it has hit 90 degrees already this year in Fayetteville, but just not officially at RDU. 72 is our normal high, so this is way above normal and, of course, near record highs. 91 today, 90 Thursday and Friday, 94 on Saturday. Our next weather maker is a cold front that comes through on Sunday. We need the rain desperately, but it's not going to bring much. I'll explain why and how it will drop our temperatures quickly coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Raleigh leaders are considering water restrictions as the drought intensifies. This is video of Falls Lake, a major water source in Wake County. The city of Raleigh says restrictions could go into effect in the coming weeks because of the current water level and a lack of rain in the forecast. That could mean limiting the time of day you can use water and how much. It has been nearly 20 years since Raleigh has put water restrictions in place. Many of us remember the drought of 2007. And as you heard Elizabeth talk about, this heat wave will stick around for a little while. Now is the time to take out your phone and download the WRAL weather app. Be sure to turn on your push notifications so you can know about any heat warnings and when cooler weather moves back into the triangle.
Highway Patrol was called out to a crash involving a school bus driver and school bus this morning in Wake County. The crash happened near Old Stage Road and Willow Landing Way. Troopers tell WRAL that a minivan went over the yellow line and hit the bus. There were 2 students on board, but fortunately, nobody was hurt. We're still trying to find out what charges the driver of the van is facing. This noon, a new autopsy report is revealing new details about the death of Officer Roger Smith. He was shot and killed in the Wake Med Garner emergency room last year. The report says the suspect in the shooting, Benji Martin Jr., got the gun from Smith after a fight in the ER. Martin then shot Smith. The medical examiner says 2 bullets hit Smith's body, killing him. Martin was also shot during this fight. He's facing murder charges. And Officer Smith was one of the fallen officers honored in a service yesterday. Law enforcement and state leaders paid respects to 4 police officers in Greensboro. Smith's name was added to the state's honor roll of fallen officers.
Tonight, parents in Wake County have the chance to give their input on the school system's budget after millions of dollars were proposed in cuts. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey shares more on the pushback to the superintendent's proposal.
Tonight, Wake County parents, you're invited to come here to Wakefield Middle School so you can share your thoughts on the district's budget that could impact funding at your child's school. This comes after Superintendent Robert Taylor proposed $5.2 million in budget cuts. These cuts would be in areas like transportation and elementary literacy coaches. Taylor plans to propose more cuts later this month. Next year's budget would still be an increase overall, but that's only to make up for
happening now in the WRAL Live Center. We're monitoring this scene here. Sky 5 is over the scene on Buffalo Road. This is at the intersection of Buffalo Road and New Hope Road in Raleigh. What we're seeing now, you can see Raleigh police there, and you can actually see a van. Looks like it is smashed in the front here on your screen. Looks like some sort of crash. Looks like there's a tow truck that just arrived on scene here. Not sure exactly what has happened here, but we're working to learn more information about this. Also, this is near an apartment complex in which we saw pretty large police presence. We saw some officers and unmarked law enforcement vehicles at this. Here we go, this parking lot in this apartment complex here. Not sure if these two situations are connected, but again, working to learn more information about what has happened here on Buffalo Road and New Hope Road. We'll be sure to bring you more information as we learn more about this situation.
Kirsten, thank you. As Pope Leo continues his Africa trip today, he's facing new criticism from President Donald Trump over his stance on the war in Iran. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is standing by the Pope, but as Claudio Lavanga reports, Trump is now publicly rebuking one of his closest European allies.
With those two posts on Truth Social, in which President Trump has heavily criticized Pope Leo, has posted that AI-generated image of himself as some sort of Jesus-like character. Well, the president has really alienated Christians around the world, but now it looks like that he's also at risk of alienating his own allies around the world. One of them is Giorgia Meloni. The Italian Prime Minister is one of the, if not the strongest ally he has in Europe, and she's defended him so far, even when other European leaders have not. But then perhaps President Trump, with those words on Pope Leo, went a step too far, because on Monday, Giorgia Meloni said that those words were unacceptable. Then on Tuesday, President Trump, in an interview with the Italian daily Corriere della Sera, said that she is the one who's unacceptable, and said that he thought she had courage, but I was wrong, he said. Also in the same interview, Trump said Pope Leo doesn't understand that Iran is a nuclear threat, and that he's not the guy that should be talking about war because he has no idea what's going on. Claudio Lavanga, NBC News, Algiers.
Shocking moments caught on camera when a professional surfer became surrounded by dozens of sharks. Brett Barley was fishing off the coast of Cape Point in North Carolina on Monday when he stumbled across this feeding frenzy. Barley was driving a personal watercraft, not a jet ski, and he quickly pulled out his GoPro camera to record this so we could see what he was seeing. Barley said if you see a lot of sharks above the surface, there's probably more below. Despite the excitement, he managed to stay calm and drove through the shark-infested area safely.
Wow. Well, most of North Carolina is in either a severe or extreme drought, and meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us the two impacts we typically see during a drought this bad in today's Ask the Meteorologist.
Aside from there being the obvious wildfire risk, now once you get into a severe and extreme drought, you start seeing the risk to crops. That's a story that we already covered here on WRAL News. Water shortages and restrictions are at least a possibility, and especially when you have no tangible rain in the forecast moving forward, it's one of those things that we have to start thinking about. When you combine the severe and extreme drought across the state, it takes up 94% of North Carolina, it takes up our entire viewing area, and this is something that's been months in the making. When you look back to September, every single month has had a rain deficit. We kept getting rain in July and in August, and then the faucet shut off. So there's the rain deficit, that's number one, but there's other things that go into determining whether or not there's a drought, one of which could be lake levels and stream flow, soil moisture, groundwater, vegetation health, the whole 9 yards. So with that in mind, we're going to be covering a number of angles to this drought. Here's how you stay on top of it. You go to WRAL WRAL.com. In the search box, you type in drought and make sure you sort by newest first. You'll be getting daily stories on the drought in hopes that it'll improve at some point soon.
Yeah, we certainly hope.
Yeah, no significant rain in the forecast. There's a slight chance for Sunday. But Elizabeth, at this point, even if that were to come to be, we would need a fire hose at this point to get out of the drought.
We would. If we were going to get out of the drought in a month's time, it would take 8 to 10 inches. And it's hard to get 8 to 10 inches without seeing a tropical system. And of course, we know that causes a lot of other additional problems. So, we're just going to hope for, some good soaking rains that come more frequently, and eventually we'll get out of the drought. But none of that really in our forecast anytime soon. We do have a beautiful view of the gardens right here, and plenty of people out enjoying the beautiful azaleas. There's still plenty of them in bloom. There's so many different species, or varieties, I guess I should say, of azaleas, and they all bloom at slightly different times. So it, extends it nicely into the spring. 82 is our temperature. Our winds are variable at 6 miles per hour. And so we are seeing slightly gusty winds. It's gusting up to 21 down in Fayetteville, but winds, I should say, are at about 5 to 10 miles per hour across the region. And our temperatures are mostly in the low 80s right now. It's 83 in Apex. It's 85 now in Durham, 80 in Knightdale, and 81 in Fuquay-Varina. So temperatures are beginning to creep up, maybe a degree or so, even from the beginning of the newscast there right at noon. So 91 in Raleigh, 90 in Durham, 91 in Fayetteville. We have already hit 90 degrees already in Fayetteville officially, but we haven't yet at RDU. We hit 89 yesterday. We were super close to it, but we didn't quite get there. We're looking at a potential record high today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, at least close to it. We'll be, within a degree or two of a record high. Saturday is really going to be hot. I mean, you want to keep that in mind. Depending on what your plans are Saturday, we'll see a high of 94. We don't have much rain chance, as Renee said just a few minutes ago. It's about a 40% chance of rain Sunday. But the 40% chance just means that's kind of how much coverage we could have. 40% of the area could end up seeing measurable rain, but it's not likely to measure very much. I mean, maybe a 1/10 of an inch is all we would get in any given place. Here's why. We have high pressure. You can see that sitting offshore, but that high pressure system, I know it shows up as a small circle. That high pressure system spreads all the way to DC, Atlanta, all the way to the Mississippi Valley, and you can see what comes around it. We have showers and thunderstorms coming just west of the Mississippi and kind of up and over into the Great Lakes. Some severe storms, some heavy rain there, but it's not going to make headway in our area until our high pressure system moves away, and it doesn't. It's just going to sit there. So our heat keeps building. 91 today, 94 tomorrow, 90 on Friday. A cold front gets close to us Friday, but that high pushes it up to the north and just allows our heat to keep building to 94 on Saturday. Now, finally, a front on Sunday moves all the way across the viewing area, and it will drop our temperatures. But again, it's just not going to bring us a whole lot of rain. And until we get some significant rainfall, we are likely to remain in this statewide burn ban. That is in effect until further notice. So we have high fire danger, of course, that burn ban. So no outdoor burning for the foreseeable future. Again, the hottest day this week will be Saturday at 94, and then we're going to step down into the 80s Sunday, and then we're going to plunge into the 60s on Monday. Woo! Yeah, you thought summer had arrived, but not so fast. We're back to cooler temperatures early next week.
Yeah, sure enough, we'll return to normal temperatures.
Yeah,
so
just a few days away.
We got a lot to weather through. Abrupt closure impacts. Painted Tree Boutiques announced it's going out of business, putting many vendors in limbo. Today on WRAL News at 4, the questions we're asking about what caused this to happen and what's next for those losing income because of it.
And deadline approaching. Student loan repayment plans are expected to end earlier than expected. On WRAL News at 6, a financial expert explains your options if you're impacted.
Still to come, delayed refund. A lot of people are still waiting on their tax refund. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur explains what might be causing that delay and what you can do about it.
Plus, package upgrade. Your deliveries may soon be easier to track. The new technology UPS says could help keep your package from ending up in the wrong place.
Tax day is finally here. If you're waiting on your tax refund, you're not alone. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur breaks down how long refunds really take and the common mistakes that could be slowing yours down.
Here's here's how long you should reasonably expect to wait for a refund. For federal returns, if you filed electronically, 3 weeks is about the norm. 6 weeks if you filed via mail. As for the state, it's 3 to 6 weeks electronic and up to 12 weeks via mail. Want to check your status? Head to the North Carolina Department of Revenue website and click Where's My Refund? For federal refunds, go to the Internal Revenue Service website and use the refund tracker. If you're dealing with a delay, it could be because of a common mistake like not signing paperwork or a mathematical error. Some credits also trigger delays like the earned income credit or additional child credit. And you also could be dealing with additional issues if you filed support for an injured spouse. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is softening his stance on interest rate cuts. After previously pressuring the Fed to lower rates, Bessent now says he understands if officials wait to see how the war in Iran could affect inflation. He still says he expects inflation to ease later this year. UPS is upgrading tracking with new tech. It's investing $100 million into labels equipped with radio frequency tags. That means if a package is put on a wrong truck, radio sensors will automatically detect it and send an alert. It also means packages can be tracked in real time or close to it. More news ahead now at 12:30. Master development plan, but with a twist. The talk of the town that's bringing thousands of new homes to the Chatham County area.
Also ahead, she's just 2 years old, but already inspiring a whole community. The joyful little girl helping to lead the fight for a cure, next at 12:30.
And here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. Good luck.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And right now, we are monitoring a breaking news situation in Goldsboro. Part of New Hope Road in Goldsboro is shut down because of an active police investigation.
WRAL's Carly Haynes has been at that scene for us. And Carly, what are you seeing right now? What are we learning?
Well, we just arrived here within the past 30 minutes, but we're still seeing a very active scene. You can see that burnt house right there. The WRAL breaking news tracker got video of the large police presence outside of that home as flames were actively shooting through the home's roof. A lot of damage here. Goldsboro police have arrested a person for attempted murder and arson as a result. Police say that the suspect shot a woman who lived in the house. She was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. She is expected to live. And then this turned into a barricade situation. Police say the suspect retreated into the house and started a fire in the bedroom, which is what caused that damage that you see to the home. The suspect has been taken into custody. This is still under investigation, and we have a lot of questions, including what the relationship is between the suspect and the victim. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Goldsboro.
Behind a new residential community coming to Chatham County.
Yes, today Disney released new renderings of the community set to come to Pittsboro. WRAL's Elizabeth Holmes has been following the developments. And Elizabeth, this could bring thousands of homes to the area.
That's right. This is set to bring 4,000 single and multifamily homes to the area, and it's part of the larger Chatham Park Master Development Plan with a Disney twist. So, for example, there is a clubhouse called Second Star Club that references Peter Pan. There'll also be a wellness center, a restaurant, swimming pools, and a trail system. Some of those spots reference Beauty and the Beast, and some reference Alice in Wonderland. This community will be built in phases. Disney has not released the price of these homes yet, but they said it will vary based on the kind of home that is available. They also said that Chatham County was the perfect place to develop.
I will say I had the opportunity to look at a lot of different sites and absolutely fell in love with Pittsboro and North Carolina. And I love the spirit, I love the people, I love the landscaping. And it just was like this, I could definitely see us marrying with Disney.
Home sales are set to begin in the fall of 2027, and residents will move in fall of 2028.
Exciting. Elizabeth, thank you. The town of Garner now issuing a scam warning. They say scammers are trying to collect payment for invoices claiming to be from Garner. The town is letting residents know that official communications are only through email from SmartGov portal. Payments to Garner should only be made on the portal. If you receive suspicious invoices or messages, contact the town's Development Services office to make sure that it's real before you pay. Tomorrow, the Wake County Register of Deeds is hosting its annual one-day passport fair. This is happening tomorrow starting at 8:30 a.m. at the Wake County Commons building. All applicants must be in line by 2:30 p.m. to be seen. If you need to renew your passport, you can do so online at travel.state.gov.
Health leaders say tobacco use among children and teens is a health crisis. This month, the Post Center in Wake County is holding a tobacco-free community forum. Young people and leading experts will discuss policies and action plans for healthier schools and communities. The forum is free and you can register online right now. The event takes place on April 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. Tobacco use among young people is the topic of our WRAL documentary, Gen V, Teen Vaping in North Carolina. You can watch it on WRAL.com or wherever you stream WRAL.
You may not have predicted these high temperatures in April, right? And your wallet may not be ready to fund the blast of AC that you'll need this week. WRAL's Monica Casey is speaking with experts about how you can keep your costs as low as possible. Monica, walk us through what you've learned today.
Well, step one of cooling off starts with your ceiling fan. Turn it on and make sure it's going counterclockwise. That will keep you a little bit cooler. But with today's heat, it is likely you're probably going to need to turn on your air conditioning. I spoke with a technician at Alternative Air Chill Brothers. Solomon Lopez says lack of maintenance with your AC unit is usually the issue, and it is vital to change your filters.
We recommend monthly, but it depends on house to house. Once the filters start turning that darker gray color, you want to go ahead and swap it, just because airflow restriction will cause the system to not work properly or efficiently. And then also they can go outside and hose down their condensing unit as well.
Now, I also spoke with Duke Energy about how you can cut costs in other ways. Those include turning the temperature up when you know you're going to be out of the house, maybe for work, closing your blinds to keep the sun out, and checking for any leaks around windows and doors. When we get into the summer months, your air conditioning bill can account for about half of your electric bill. So taking these steps right now will also save you money down the line. Live in Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Season not over. What needs to happen for the Charlotte Hornets to secure their first playoff appearance in a decade?
And healthy minds, healthy bodies. How our Teacher of the Week is coaching kids for the track of life. And our team is working to bring you exclusive stories for coverage you'll find only on WRAL. Visit WRAL.com and search only.
Our Teacher of the Week is now teaching a subject which was his favorite when he was in school.
WRAL's Ken Smith is at Adams Elementary School in Wake County to honor a physical education teacher known for motivating his students with music and movement.
I see running, I see jumping, I see a bunch of stuff. There we go.
Todd Schwartz was a standout track athlete in high school, and being fleet of foot helps him set the pace for his students at Adams Elementary School in Cary.
Let's run. Let's run. Let's run. They always give me the right energy whenever they're ready to play a game. They're super ready to go, and it just helps me out a lot. It makes my job so much easier when the class participates and everybody participates, and I love it. Good job, Joe. Let's do it again.
Movement is the method by which Coach Schwartz sparks his students' interest in sports and fitness, motivating them to exercise their minds and bodies.
Ready? All right, now let's see y'all to do it.
Teaching phys ed is actually a second career for Coach Schwartz, who used to be a personal trainer.
My mother, Ms. Dawson, she put the bug in my ear about being a teacher because she was in the school system for a very long time.
When it comes to the rhythm of teaching phys ed, Coach Schwartz is all about instilling a sense of determination in his students.
Is that how you live your life? That's how I live my life. Absolutely. I never give up. Never give up. And whatever you do, it may not look like, it may look like it's not going your way, you just got to keep going. You just got to keep going. Because God will bless you.
Coach Shorts.
Oh my goodness.
You are WRAL's Teacher of the Week.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Give him a big round of applause, class.
Thank you so much.
Life is like, arthritis can affect anyone, even toddlers. We're joined by Tom Grinnell and his daughter, Penny, who is this year's youth honoree for the 2026 Raleigh Walk to Cure Arthritis. So they are going to be sharing Penny's journey and how this event is helping families feel supported while raising hope for a cure. Tom, Penny, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
And let me be honest, when you hear the word arthritis, you certainly don't think of someone as young as Penny. Explain how you discovered that she had arthritis.
Yeah, so she was about 1.5, and we realized that she was having some trouble walking. Her knee was really swollen all the time. She would sometimes kind of point to it and say, "Doctor, doctor," when it was really bad. Just, some kind of rough stuff where she was having some difficulty moving around too much. And we went to a bunch of doctors. They thought it was all sorts of different things. And we finally got to one who looked at it and said, "We need to get checked out for arthritis." Took her into a rheumatologist. They looked at it, and pretty immediately they were like, "Yeah, that's what we're looking at here."
So when you heard arthritis, what went through your family's mind?
It was a pretty big shock. Like you said, it's not something you really expect to hear for a kid this age. And it's one of those things you don't want to hear for a kid, But
and what is daily life like with arthritis for Penny?
So these days she's doing a lot better, so it doesn't really impact too much for her. But I will say that when it was rough, she would have trouble walking. Like I said, we have to carry her around a lot. It'll be some late nights where she'd be up in the night in some pain.
I know
that
you're
kind of thing.
fascinated by the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the microphone. This is how people can hear us at home and listen to your dad tell people about your story. Yeah, and she's going to be this year's youth honoree. What is the message that you would like to share with families about Penny and your family's journey?
So we just really want people to know that getting a diagnosis of something like arthritis is not the end of the story or anything like that. Obviously, there's so much progress that can be made, so much help that can be had. Hey, baby Kay. Sorry. It's just, life with arthritis is still a good life.
If she wants to get down to explore, that's totally fine.
You want to get down for a second?
Yeah, right. I know. This is a big studio. Yeah. And what can families expect for the Raleigh Walk to Cure Arthritis that's coming up in May?
Should be a fun day. We were able to go last year. We got out there, did some walking with some friends and some supportive people, had some events afterwards. Just kind of a nice little day to be around people who are going through similar things and kind of know what this kind of unique struggle might be like.
Well, she just seems so happy and joyful, and I'm glad that arthritis is not getting the better of you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No chance.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, Tom.
Thank you.
I know it's a handful having two about to be 3 years old, little Penny. Yeah, you have something to say too. WRAL is a proud partner of Raleigh Walk to Cure Arthritis. The event will take place Saturday, May 2nd. It's at Fenton and Cary. You can find more information at events.arthritis.org. Tom Grinnell and Penny, thank you so much for sharing your journey. And we'll see you May 2nd. Laura.
Say thank you, baby.
Tom and Penny. It's been now a dangerous week of severe weather across central U.S. Residents in Ottawa, Kansas are cleaning up after a tornado tore through their community. More twisters hit parts of the plains and Midwest yesterday. Flooding is also a major concern in Wisconsin and Michigan. In Milwaukee, high water trapped drivers on flooded roads. So let's take a look at what we're experiencing here at home now. Tossing now to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner there on the WRAL weather patio. We could use some of that weather and rain here.
And none of it's coming our way. As a matter of fact, they're seeing so much of it because high pressure is keeping us dry, and it's got all of those fronts parked just to our west and north and producing all of that flooding. So what we're dealing with, of course, is the potential for some record heat this afternoon, as well as tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday afternoon. We do have the chance of a few isolated showers and thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon and into the evening along a front. But as that front gets close to it, it's going to be much weaker than what we're seeing back to the west. southwest. It will be a lot cooler behind the front. We'll definitely get some high temperatures back into the 60s and 70s, which is where we should be for this time of year. It's pretty in the gardens right here this afternoon. Plenty of people out enjoying all the azaleas and the comfortable weather. It's warm for sure, but in the shade it doesn't feel too bad because our humidity is nice and low. And even with highs in the 90s, we don't see that summer-like humidity this week. 82 is our current temperature. Wind is out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour. Our normal high is 72. So these highs in the 90s are anywhere from 15 to 20 plus degrees warmer than they should be for this time of year. 83 on Sunday. But then closer to normal temperatures to start next week. So we have a cold front Sunday. The minimal chance for rainfall with this, even though the front will move through, it's still not going to bring us a whole lot of rain, but it does bring us a relief from the unseasonable heat. So here's what's happening. We have high pressure that's sitting right across the southeast, and you see the precipitations along the Mississippi Valley and up toward the Great Lakes. Well, the high is holding it there, and it has those fronts stalled, and so that's where we're seeing severe thunderstorms, a lot of heavy rain, and flooding potential. We have a front that approaches us on Friday, but fizzles out as it bumps into the high. And then a second front will come across Chicago and St. Louis. This one has even more rain with it to our west. But once again, once it moves across our area, we're just not likely to see a whole lot of rain. We'll zoom in a little bit, and you can see rain in Nashville, up to, across West Virginia. But Sunday, as it moves across our area, looks like we could see some rain, but it's probably going to be around 1/10 of an inch or less. And we'll kind of see how that plays out. Maybe it'll start to signal that it's going to slow down or bring a little bit more rain, but right now it just doesn't look too promising. High pressure to our south forces all of that rain to stay to the west and north of us, and plenty of rain there, 1 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, and again that flooding chance too. We have a small chance of rain and thunderstorms on Sunday when that comes through. Again, averaging maybe around 1/10 of an inch is all we'll see Sunday. If we were going to end the drought in 1 month, we would need 8 to 10 inches to fall in that particular month. If that happened all at one time, we would have flooding. But we just haven't had our normal setup where we see, maybe 1 inch of rain, twice a week. We just haven't seen that since September. But on the flip side of that, it is nice to be outside. The Durham Bulls have a homestand that lasts through Sunday. Temperatures at game time at around 6:30 will be in the low 80s, and we have low humidity. So, at least we can get outside and enjoy it. If you don't like the heat, hold on. Monday's high will only be 67 and then in the mid 70s on Tuesday. So we'll be reaching for the sweaters again by Monday.
That's right. Don't put them away just yet. Right. Still alive. The Charlotte Hornets pulled off a thrilling win to keep their season going. How a dramatic finish now has Charlotte one step closer to the playoffs. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. We are staying on top of breaking news out of Goldsboro. A woman is in the hospital and a man is in custody after a shooting and a house fire. Police say it happened at a home on Shelley Drive this morning. They say a man shot a woman inside, barricaded her in there, and then set the home on fire. The case is being investigated as attempted murder and arson. We are still waiting to learn information about the suspect.
A new autopsy report is revealing details about the death of Officer Roger Smith. He was shot and killed in the Wake Met Garner emergency room last year. The report says the suspect in the shooting, Benji Martin Jr., got the gun from Smith during a fight in the ER. Martin then shot Smith. The medical examiner says 2 bullets hit Smith's body, killing him. Martin was also shot during this fight. He's facing murder charges.
Tonight, parents can share their thoughts on Wake School's budget after proposed cuts. Superintendent Robert Taylor proposed $5.2 million in budget cuts. These cuts would be in areas like transportation and elementary literacy coaches. Tonight's feedback session starts at 6 at Wakefield Middle School.
The Charlotte Hornets are one step closer to making the playoffs. The Hornets beat the Miami Heat in overtime last night in the opening round of the play-in tournament. LaMelo Ball scored the go-ahead layup in the final seconds, and Miles Bridges came up with a game-saving block at the buzzer. Charlotte now moves on with a chance to clinch the East final playoff spot. This would be Charlotte's first playoff season in appearance, in more than a decade. And the Carolina Hurricanes closed out the regular season with a 2-1 win against the New York Islanders. The team won the division and are the top seed in the Eastern Conference. They will now face off against the Ottawa Senators in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs on Saturday.
Powerball is heading across the pond. The American lottery game, responsible for 6 of the 10 largest lottery wins in U.S. history, will soon be available in the United Kingdom. The game will be played the same way, with draw times taking place at 10:59 p.m. local time every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday nights. Remember, that's when you can watch the American Powerball drawing on WRAL. Our pet of the day is a pair of sweet kitties from Chatham Animal Rescue and Education. Meet Scoop and Swirl, 2 playful 1-year-old sisters looking for a loving home. They love curling up beside you on the couch, showing off their speed with toys, and filling the room with soft chirps and purrs. Scoop and Swirl are spayed, microchipped, up to date on shots, and ready to bring some extra sweetness to your life. To learn more, visit chathamanimalrescue.org. Abrupt closure impacts. Peanut Tree Boutiques announced it is going out of business, putting many vendors in limbo. Today at 4, the questions we're asking about how this happened and what's next for those losing income because of it. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
And you can get more breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. We hope you have a great day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.